got a doll baby, I love her so. Nothing else like her anywhere you go. A man she...
Hello and welcome to Cynical Optimists. I am haddowinc.
And I am NGM.
And welcome to our very special E3 discussion recap episode.
Yay!
So we're going to look at everything that happened last week at E3 because we're out the other side now. The dust is starting to settle. News reports are doing their analysis.
I didn't think we'd make it.
Yeah.
The whole way through.
So, well, I think...
Let's start with our news.
Yeah,
I've got a new pair of headphones.
Pardon?
I've got a new pair of headphones.
Yes, because last week they were painful or something.
They were painful, yeah. I've also got a glass of Caribbean Crush instead of water. And I'm also a disorganised bastard.
And that is the news about the hosts. Now on to the discussion about the news about the hosts. Nick, you're a disorganised bastard.
Yeah, my news was written up today, and there hasn't been huge amounts of it as far as I can tell, but this is your episode, Phil. This is your baby. So I'm going to kick off with a bit of film and TV news, but if you're a film and TV person,
This week's episode might be short for you if you're just here for the film and TV stuff.
Absolutely. We'll try and drag it out as much. I mean, make it as interesting as possible. But right, so this is just stuff I've sweeped up through the week that was interest to me. Ewan McGregor in a recent interview has said he'd be up for returning to the role of Obi-Wan in a Star Wars anthology film, which is one of the spin-offs that's supposedly set between episodes 3 and 4.
Okay, cool.
I think that'd be cool. Ewan McGregor was brilliant. I think that was one of my favourite bits about the prequels, actually, is how cool Obi-Wan was.
I mean, you gotta think, he must be doing something between dropping Luke off and then meeting Luke again when he was a teenager. There must have been something that happened in that period of time.
And I just want more Ewan McGregor one-liners. He was so cool in the prequels. He was so witty. He was just like, hello there. Or when he just jumped down and he's just so uncivilised, just tosses the gun to the side. Oh, I love you. I think he was awesome in the prequels. So that's good. That's good news. Now it's time for obligatory Marvel news. And it's actually a bit of bad news for Marvel.
Bad news?
Bad news for Marvel. It does happen every once in a while. Jurassic World has overtaken Age of Ultron in the box office ratings.
I thought this happened last week.
Oh shit, did I say it last week?
I think it might have done, or at least I remember us discussing Jurassic World and Age of Ultron last week. I'm not sure if we discussed their box office performance.
Ah, okay, but
I just know that Marvel were very humble about it.
The difference this week is that I've now seen both Age of Ultron and Jurassic World.
Which would you say is the better film, without spoilers?
I think... personally, I think I actually enjoyed Age of Ultron a little bit more.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, Jurassic World was fantastic, but... at times it was a teensy-weensy bit generic, you know?
Well, I might be going to go see it later today, depending on whether I can get off my arse and go down and see it.
Well, depending on what time we finish this podcast.
Yeah.
No, I mean, in fact, actually, you look at... I say generic, but you look at Age of Ultron and Jurassic World, and they're both about... well, okay, I'm only going to spoil what you'd see in the trailers, is that like both of it is sort of based around a creation that goes wrong.
Yeah, but then that's kind of like Jurassic Park, Jurassic World's kind
I know,
of
but this time it's they've created. This is all in the trailer, so again, apologies if I'm spoiling it, but you would have gormed all this from the trailers. That they tried to make a new attraction basically out of other dinosaurs' DNA.
So did they just put on some Marvin Gaye music and just put a Brontosaurus and a T-Rex in a room together? No,
they spliced some DNAs from all sorts of things, and they don't even know what it was. But it basically, it's a similar sort of. Again, it's like the Ultron thing again, isn't it? I mean, creations turning against its owner is a theme that's been explored hundreds and millions of times, but it would have been there was nothing that really surprised me in Jurassic World, and I quite like the odd surprise in a film, whereas Ultron actually did have a few moments where you think, oh shit, where'd that come from?
Yeah,
I mean, Jurassic World, I think, as perhaps a spectacle or as a film maybe was slightly better, but I think Age of Ultron managed to pull out a few more stops, if you know what I mean. And yes, they have got the advantage of having frickin' radioactive green giants and iron suits and stuff. But no, still a great film though. I still recommend Jurassic World. I don't have to recommend it actually because everyone's already gone to see it, I suppose, haven't they? Apart from you.
apart from me.
It's got something like I can't remember how much it got. Something like 250 million on its opening weekend or something stupid like that. Or its opening day, I think. So I don't need to tell you how good it is.
I'm still disappointed by the absence of Jeff Goldblum, though.
He doesn't even make a cameo. I was gutted.
It's like, where is the person to tell them that they shouldn't have wondered whether they could? They should have stopped to wonder whether they should.
There's a guy who looks slightly like a sort of Indian Jeff Goldblum, if that helps.
A little.
It does a little. And he's got a very calm voice as well. He's nice.
Whereas before I sat down to record this, I saw that there's news is going to come out in the next couple of weeks, probably all about the new Independence Day, which is what Goldblum's actually going to be in.
Independence. Yeah, actually, there was some news about that today, but I forgot to write it down. So, Independence Day. I think it's got a name.
Yeah, it does have a name. Hold on, just you talk.
Yes. So the other day I was
Resurgence.
There we go. I didn't have to talk for long there. That was good. I ran out after about a sentence.
As you can see, the film and TV news is going great.
Yeah, so there's a new Independence Day film called Resurgence.
Oh, is this the sequel? Is Jeff Goldblum going to be in it?
Yes. According to my thorough notes I've got in front of me, yes. And it's called Resurgence. Is that what it is? Resurgence?
Yeah.
What does that mean? Resurge?
Yeah, like to come back in like a huge way. So.
Well, that's subtle, isn't it?
Well, it's probably going to be like a resurgence of the alien. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's a subtle, like, bigger, better, and uncut or something.
It's a subtitle for a sequel that begins in RE. That is enough. Like Alien Resurrection.
They should call it Independence Day: Age of Extinction, or Revelations. That's always a good one to chuck on.
Revelations. That is always a good one if you have no idea.
Shit, what do we call our sequel?
Revelations.
Revelations. Despicable Me 2, Revelations. The Boy in the Striped Pyjamas 2, Revelations.
Independence Day 2, the squeakquel.
So that's a good one. What else have I got? Oh, I actually saw an article the other day about because we like our cinematic universe news, don't we?
Yes,
I saw an article about the current cinematic universes in production at the moment, and I will say courtesy of Den of Geek for this article, in case you think I'm just trying to rip your thing. Universal Studios are working on a classic horror universe, apparently.
Oh, I think I've heard details about this, but it's going to be like Frankenstein and all
Dracula, a Mummy, Van Helsing, etc. And they've actually sort of labelled it themselves as the original cinematic universe.
No?
Because apparently the ones that were made in like the 20s were way ahead of Marvel
yes,
Studios.
I remember when people went to go see Dracula and they're like, well, it's a good thing we went to go see Frankenstein first, otherwise I'd be completely lost. And then they had that big
I'm going to insert a Samuel Jackson joke here, by the way.
And there was that film where they were all together fighting aliens. I love that.
Sony are developing a cinematic universe based on the Jump Street films.
See, I heard that was getting a Men in Black spin-off, possibly.
It's getting a Men in Black crossover and a female-led spin-off. I haven't got a lot to say about that. I mean, I'm hoping that might at least be quite tongue-in-cheek.
Yeah, and it depends really who they have behind these additional films, because the first two, 21 Jump Street and 22 Jump Street, were by the same creative team who did the Lego Movie. They're a very good.
Yeah, those directors and writers, aren't they? Yeah,
good films. But if they're kind of hands off on this and it just gets like exploited for its popularity, then it's going to end up being a bit shit.
But I'm hoping they won't go off the path of what's the word I'm looking for? Because there is a very satirical film, isn't it? They really do take the piss out of whatever's happening in the film, don't they?
Yeah.
I think it'll be smart, and I think it might poke fun at the current trend of cinematic universes.
Yeah.
So you never know, that might be quite a good one. Speaking of the Lego Movie, Warner Brothers want to do a Lego cinematic universe with Lego Batman, Ninjago, and the second Lego Movie all tying in for some reason.
Well, if it's anything like the Lego games, they'll build it on the same kind of premise each time and just slightly change the character models. So they'll be able to release like 2 a year. Now, I heard that there was plans for a Lego Batman film.
Yeah.
Based on the Batman that appeared in the Lego Movie.
Yes, I think.
But
it's due to happen. There's no getting away from it.
It seems like Lego's just getting thrown at everything at the moment. Just like you have the Lego Toys to Life game coming out. You have the Lego answer to Minecraft on Steam Greenlight.
Yeah.
Steam Early Access now. And you have okay, what's our answer to cinematic universes? Just throw more Lego at it! Yay!
TV news. Not much, if I'm honest. TFI Friday's been renewed.
Yay!
Yay! That's officially making Chris Evans the busiest man on television at the moment. I never really got into that, if I'm honest.
I haven't really watched much.
It was before our generation, sort of, as well, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, TFI Friday is the music show, isn't it?
I don't know. It's just a show where Chris Evans talks about things.
Top Gear. That's Top Gear you're thinking of. Or is it the one show?
Not yet. It's not Top Gear yet. Speaking of Top Gear, by the time you listen to this, it'll be on Friday, and it'll be 2 days' time until the last Top Gear episode is shown. Yay!
So are they compressing all their kind of leftover footage just into one last...
Yeah, with Richard and... Oh yeah, it'll be a slightly longer episode. Apparently Richard and James will be sort of filling in the studio bits.
Yeah.
So, there we go. Actually, Peter Capaldi can play guitar.
Cool.
Yeah, I saw a Vine of, Peter Capaldi playing a guitar. It's quite good. He was somewhere on set. Yeah, he was in his Doctor Who outfit.
That's going to be that's more spoilers for Doctor Who season 9.
That's the finale.
That's the finale. Like the Daleks show up and Peter Capaldi defeats them by playing a kick-ass rock solo on the guitar.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised.
And then they just all explode because they can't handle the sound waves or something. And
I want Doctor Who to be good again. Actually, to be fair, there were a lot of good episodes in the last series.
There's a lot of good episodes in the last series. It's just done a complete switch round of you used to look forward to the episodes that the head writer wrote, and now you dread the episodes that the head writer writes.
Exactly. And we're not just going to sit on the Moffat bashing train for the entire... Is that the right phrase?
Moffat bashing train?
That does sound a bit weird, doesn't it?
Well, it depends. Is there a mummy on this train?
Ah,
Is it the Orient Express?
The Orient Express, yeah.
Yeah.
We're not going to go on about it. Okay, we might go on about it, but
we might have an episode where we eloquently describe our feelings, but then
actually, we haven't done a Doctor Who discussion yet. Maybe we'll save that for the new trailer, which is going to be. It's got to be soon, isn't it?
Well, if they're looking for an autumn air date, then yeah.
Yeah, there'll be a trailer soon, and when that trailer pops up, if it happens to be on a TV discussion week or a film discussion week, then we'll put that in.
Yes, or any other excuse to turn so we can make one of our tenuous lengths.
Well, we can't just do a Doctor Who discussion without anything Doctor Who-y in the news. But then again, we have had Peter Capaldi playing guitar. That could lead us on to our discussion.
What, like next week? Remember last week how we very briefly mentioned Peter Capaldi playing a guitar? Well, today we're going to discuss the whole of New Who since 2005. Buckle your seatbelts, kids.
That discussion will happen at one point, but yeah, we'll wait till an appropriate time.
And you will need to buckle your seatbelts.
Then again, we haven't been that topical so far, have we?
Nah.
Well, we've been alright, but...
We've been okay.
It's the fact that also it doesn't help that our episodes go out usually after a big piece of news, after we've recorded.
Yeah, it didn't happen last week, I don't think.
No, we were alright last week. We recorded on Wednesday.
It's Tuesday nights. You just wait, as soon as we finish this, all hell will break loose.
Stephen Moffat steps down as Doctor Who head writer.
Oh, we'd record a bonus one of just us blowing... pulling party, yeah, and pulling party poppers down the mic, going yeah,
just blowing our mics, just
leaving people confused because we still hadn't done an episode explaining our feelings on Doctor Who. So they'd be like, "Why are they celebrating? I don't get it."
They won't even know we're celebrating. They'll just hear an amalgamation of, and then this episode will describe why we're doing that. Right, I've come to the list. I've come to the end of my list of TV and film news, and 18 odd minutes. That's not bad.
It's not bad,
considering I really fucking dragged that out.
Yeah. Well, I didn't feel like much of a drag out. Only when we had to actually look up during recording about the Independence Day news.
Yeah, and we did digress about Stephen Moffat and Chris Evans.
But that happens.
That happens.
That happens to everyone every once in a while.
Right.
So we're moving on to gaming stuff.
Yeah.
There's most of the gaming news at the moment is all centered around post E3, mostly just lists like top 5 things from E3, best of show E3. All these kinds of things. The only real news to share is that today, it had its midnight launch last night, was Arkham Knight, and it received a perfect score of 10 on Polygon, which was very impressive. However, the PC version is apparently not very good. So by the time this goes up on Friday, hopefully there'll be some kind of patch, or at least news of a patch. But for the time being, I'd say to anyone thinking of getting it on Steam, go and look up the patch history and the updates and check the community, the discussions and the community forums and things.
Or buy the Steam hardware we were talking about 2 weeks ago.
That wouldn't fix the software though.
Oh, okay.
I was
just trying to get in there with a comment about gaming. I'm trying, Phil.
I think the only real thing apart from that is that the console versions are locked at 30 frames per second because new consoles just apparently can't do 60. But there is a tutorial online if you Google search it for if you find that your PC version is FPS locked, then you can unlock it, and because PCs are just slightly better for that kind of thing. Talking about frames per second, just quickly before we get onto the everything from E3, is that Fallout 4 will also be have its frames per second locked on consoles, but not on PC, which is nice to see, because usually, if they're going to lock it on one, kind of like if you're having to do something to one, you have to do it to all of them so nobody feels bad. That kind of treating like children. But no, Fallout 4, I believe, is not getting its frames per second locked on PC. So if you've got a good PC, then feel free to go wild.
Yay!
So, this brings us to... That was a very quick gaming news, but the gaming news and discussion is kind of one thing this week, but this will be the official discussion start, but it will mostly be going through what happened at E3, with us discussing as we go.
Yes.
So,
and
last
Phil will be dumbing down for me and the audience, assuming the audience knows more than me, actually, to be fair.
So, last week I explained about the two pre-E3 shows, which was the Smash Bros. Update, which introduced Ryu, Roy and Lucas as DLC, and then about the Nintendo World Championships, which went on Sunday, right before Bethesda's E3 conference. Just a quick word on Nintendo World Championship. Apparently it did a lot better than Nintendo were expecting, so you may see it again next year, which would be very interesting. I enjoyed it a lot.
This was their conference, was it?
It was like a championship. It was like playing. It was like there's 16 people, and it was like a round. It was like a competition.
Oh, okay.
So they did like Smash Bros, Splatoon, Mario Kart. Like they did a mix of retro and new games, and each round it kind of thinned the herd a bit. And it was very entertaining, actually. It ended up with some custom maps they'd made in Super Mario Maker, which were just torturous. But there was one guy, the guy who won, just seemed to work them out really quickly, but it was just kind of the thing where it was designed like the very first Mario map, but then once you get to like the halfway point, it's just like fire and all these enemies, and it's like, wow, that's crazy. It was a great advertisement for Super Mario Maker, though, because it's like, wow, I could torture my friends with this. But no, that I would quite happily watch that again if it was on next year. So, as far as the press conferences are concerned for this week, I'll just be going through them in the order at which they were. So I'm going to start off with Bethesda. So, Bethesda, a good portion of their presentation was all Fallout news. So this time, you get a dog companion in Fallout, and you can actually build, almost Sims like, you can build settlements and build houses, except the houses are kind of made out of rusty and destroyed bits of houses.
Nice.
But so you can establish a settlement, and then you have to like defend it. So it looks like there's, even without kind of trying to progress the plot, it looks like there'll be plenty of things for you to do outside of the plot, which is always good for a game which boasts an open world like Fallout 4 is doing. And it also announced Fallout Shelter, which is it's probably the only mobile game I'll bother mentioning today. Well, actually, no. Might be one or two of them making a point of anything, but
actually, I saw this on the App Store. What's the gist of the game? Is it an actual standalone game, or do you have to sync it to a Fallout?
It's a standalone game, and essentially the whole basis of Fallout is it's after a nuclear war, and so Fallout Shelter is a mobile management game where you are creating and managing your own Fallout shelter. And it's completely free. There is no microtransactions or free-to-play aspects. It's completely free. And the only thing you have to... And it's about managing it. And from what I've been seeing from people, it's a very good game. And as it's completely free, well, why not try it out?
Yeah, absolutely. And this is the one game I'll be able to say I can get, because I haven't got a PlayStation 4 or an Xbox One.
Yeah. This will be your extent of next-gen gaming.
Yay! On my phone.
So yeah, the rest of Bethesda's conference, there was some gameplay from the Doom reboot. Well, I'm not sure if it's a reboot or a sequel, but that looked very over the top and gory. There was some Dishonored 2, and then there was two games that seemed to be making very there was a game called Battlecry there, which seemed very much like Team Fortress 2, and you could tell from the trailer though, just Bethesda giving Valve an eye and going, "We're coming for you." And then it announced a strategy card game called The Elder Scrolls Legends, which in turn was staring at Hearthstone saying, we're coming for you too. We're going to be the kings around here one day. I mean, both of them looked quite good. I mean, if you're into strategy card games, obviously check The Elder Scrolls Legends out when it releases. And Battle Cry is kind of that Team Fortress 2 Splatoonish kind of team battle, kind of slightly more cartoony as well. So that might be quite fun. Oh, there's that Splatoon mention again.
Yeah, twice I think you have, Phil.
I just can't help it.
We'll have to do a crossover episode at some point where we go on about Doctor Who and Splatoon.
Dr. Splatoon.
Dr. Splatoon.
You're a kid now.
You're a squid. You're a darling now.
You're a kid. You're a squid. Yeah, so considering it was Bethesda's first ever time at E3 doing a conference, I think they did very well, but it was just quite interesting to watch. The people talking to the audience, obviously they were being quite entertained. They're keeping people's attention. They sounded like they were genuinely interested in what they were doing. The special edition, as much as I've never really played Fallout, but I know that there's a device called a Pip-Boy, which is like the device they wear on their wrist.
Right.
And if you get the special edition of the game, you get a real life Pip-Boy that your smartphone can go in.
Is that an Apple Watch, basically?
So, well, the thing is, like, in the game, the pause menu is the Pip-Boy, and you can use it to change your stats and your weapons and things.
Right.
But on this, when the game releases, an iOS app will also release. So you get this Pip-Boy, you put the iOS app on your iPhone, put it in the case, and it is your screen. It will sync with your game.
That does sound pretty cool, actually.
So you'll be playing, and you'll be like, okay, just need to change some things. And you'll look at your wrist and actually do it on your wrist on your actual own Pip-Boy. So I think that's really cool. Like, I can really appreciate like the kind of thought and...
Absolutely.
Like, as much as it is just it is just kind of like a thing. It actually... Well, it's got some functionality to it. It's not just a... Like,
would you be able to wear it out without getting shot?
Can
you show off to Apple Watch owners? And be like, hey,
why? Is that the problem with Apple Watches at the moment?
What?
Like all the Amazon reviews, 1 star, stepped outside, got shot.
No, but like if it's an actual thing from a game.
Oh right.
Because it's no. No, I don't.
I thought you were saying that it would solve some kind of problem in the smartwatch industry about people getting shot.
I'm really hoping not. Mine arrives on July 10th. So.
Ooh, very posh.
Oh yeah, and well, no, it won't be because I'll just step out and get shot. Clearly.
So, yes, I think that's all there really is to say about Bethesda. There's nothing really even to debate. I just think they did quite well.
I disagree, Phil.
You watched it all and you hated every second. Where was my Mario Kart, you said, not realising this wasn't the company that developed Mario Kart. Nick was angry.
I wanted Waluigi Love Simulator.
Yes, this brings us on to Microsoft.
No,
now,
it doesn't.
Does it not?
Well, no, we're just talking about Nintendo.
No,
and Bethesda.
I was talking about how you're getting Nintendo and Bethesda mixed up.
Oh, but that's not Microsoft. Make these links more tenuous, Phil. Well, no, less tenuous.
Fallout 4 is launching on Xbox One. That brings us to Microsoft.
That's alright, yeah, that'll do.
Microsoft in previous years have been thoroughly known as doing shit jobs, whether it be spending half their conference going on about the non-game aspects of the Xbox One, such as the fact that you can shout at it to Bing Pornhub, or other things like that. Well, you do if you live in my house. Especially when someone's playing a game, just walk through and go, Xbox, Bing Pornhub. It's great, I love voice controls.
I was going to say, you can't really use Google, can you? Because Microsoft hates anything that's good.
Yeah. But yes, Microsoft actually did well this year. They had a strong focus on a wide range of titles. There is backward compatibility coming to Xbox One, so you'll be able to play Xbox 360 games on it in the near future, which was one of the big problems that people had with the Xbox One and PS4 is, well, what about all these old games I own? So it looks like Microsoft's actually solving the problem, which is good to see. It's always nice to see that these things are getting done. They also they showed off some of Forza 6, which I don't know. They spent a lot of time talking about the Ford GTs and how that was one of the focus of the game.
This is sort of like their Gran Turismo, isn't it?
Yeah. Essentially, it's just the Microsoft version of Gran Turismo. And then they lowered a Ford GT down from the ceiling in the conference hall.
Nice, as you do.
And
The new one?
No, I think it was quite an old one.
Well.
And then they're like, look at this car! And that was pretty much it. That was pretty much Forza 6 discussed.
That's a nice way to do it. I like that. That's a good conference. When did Forza start? Forza, it's not that old, is it?
Well, it's always been a first-party Xbox franchise, and I believe that a main series Forza is every other year, if I'm correct.
It's going quicker than Gran Turismo development.
Forza 5 came out and it was a launch title for the Xbox One in 2013. So, and I believe I looked it up, and I think a little while ago, and I believe it was just every other year. So, if it's on Forza 6, that means it would have been probably on the original Xbox, the first one.
Right.
But yeah, it's always been their first-party racing game.
That's level with Gran Turismo now. Gran Turismo 6 is the current one. The old one, but it's still current, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
There's a game I'm interested in. Not the one we're talking about that's just been unveiled, but the rival to it on the previous generation console. Yeah, I can relate to this.
I thought if I mentioned cars, at least you wouldn't feel completely out of the loop. Now,
Ford GT. Ooh.
There was other things announced by Microsoft. They announced a new Elite controller for Xbox One. Guess the price of this Elite controller.
50 quid.
Higher.
60 quid?
Higher.
What? No, you're not going to... 80.
Higher.
100?
Higher.
Sorry, what? 120.
Higher.
150.
Lower.
Oh, fuck. Okay, 140.
Lower.
130.
There we go.
Right. What the fuck does it do?
I don't know. It has I don't know. They showed off a trailer for it, and it has like buttons underneath the handle for like your little fingers to push.
Actually, I think I saw a picture of that. Actually, yeah. That's £130.
Yeah, it's
British sterling pounds.
You could buy a Nintendo 3DS and a game or two for that, for the price of one controller.
How much was your Wii U?
My Wii U, when I bought it, well, considering I got it with 3 games, I got it for £275. So, by itself, you probably could have got it for 200.
Yeah, but still, 130 quid for a bloody controller. That is mental money.
So that kind of puts the Steam controller in perspective, doesn't it?
How much was that again?
40 quid.
Bargain.
You could buy 3 of those. And still have 10 quid left for takeaway.
My current remote I use for Steam and for my PlayStation and stuff is like one of those Argos 10 quid like DualShock rip-off remotes, and it's great. Just plug it in with the USB, it's wireless, it's great.
One of my housemates has pre-ordered a Steam controller. If it's good, if it's worth the money, then I'll get one, but if not, I've still got quite a cheap.
If not, Argos tenner.
No, I've got one. It was like PC World in the 99p bin or something. When my dad used to work there.
Even better, brilliant. So was that staff discount as well?
Probably. So 90p.
Fun fucking tastic.
Yes, they did have apart from that, they had a HoloLens demonstration with Minecraft. They needed to use a special camera, so it wasn't just the man on stage doing the demo that could see what was going on. So the audience could see what was going on.
I still don't really believe it, to be honest.
I'm struggling a bit. I mean, I've got a bit more belief, considering they're now partnered with Oculus for it. And obviously Oculus has been doing it now for a while, but the thing is, I'm not sure if there's going to be any point in getting it for a while. Or whether it's just...
I can't see it as it being as done in that original sort of press release thing with like all the bits around the kitchen and the 3D models and stuff. No, I think that's a bit
It's a bit Tony Stark is an Iron Man, isn't it?
Exactly. That is way further off than what they'll offer. I reckon it'll be. I don't even reckon it'll get perspective. Like, it showed like messages on walls and TVs on walls and stuff, but I reckon it'll just be like sort of just spherical to what you're seeing. It won't. I don't think it will interact with the real world in the way that they're showing.
No, I mean, the way they're doing it in this Minecraft thing was that the Minecraft area got projected onto a table in front of the guy, and he was able to influence it with his hand and zoom in using his hands and stuff like that. And something very concentrated and small like that might be possible, but in the grass, in the width and the breadth that they were kind of that they want it to be, and it won't be in for a while.
No.
Yeah. Apart from that, there's Rare. Rare were there.
Who did the Banjo-Kazooie games?
Yes, but in recent years they've just been stuck doing stuff to do with Kinect.
Right.
But since Kinect has kind of disappeared, and nobody seems to care that it's disappeared, it's no longer bundled with Xbox One. It's just kind of buggered off, which is a great shame, because if you had Kinect, there's voice commands, and you can go past somebody playing Xbox One and go Xbox Bing Pornhub.
And that was the feature of one of the Paranormal Activity films, wasn't it?
What, the Xbox Kinect?
Yeah. Did you not see that one? I think
No.
It was like Paranormal Activity 4 or 5 or something stupid like that. And it's just like... it was such a blatant product placement. It was just like, oh right, yeah, it's our Kinect. If you turn the light off, you can and put night vision on the camera, you can see the dots.
It's a good thing
the dots made the little movements as the ghost was going around and stuff.
It's a good thing they didn't make 2001 today, otherwise it'd been an Xbox One in the centre of the ship, rather than the HAL.
Yeah, rather than HAL. Oh man, Jurassic World. It's just like... Oh, okay, Avengers wasn't much better in some places as well, but like Jurassic World was just like every shot had the new Mercedes GLE Coupe just parking up perfectly, with not a
next to a dinosaur.
Yeah, with not a bit of mud on it or anything. It's just oh, and the kid just with his Beats headphones on, and it's just it's all so blatant these days, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, I was talking about Rare. They bought 2 games to E3 this year. First one is a...
Were they their games, or did they just bring 2 games that they just bought to E3?
They're games that they're developing.
Oh, okay, that's good. Not just, hey guys, look, I got the new Arkham game.
And here's the CEO of Rare, sat in the corner playing Animal Crossing on his 3DS. Go away, guys, I didn't want to come to E3 this year. No, the first one is a compilation of 30 Rare games, because it's 30 years of Rare.
Oh, okay.
Which you can get for $30 when it releases.
Nice.
Which is around 20 quid. So that is 30 full games from the last 30 years. So this includes all the Banjo-Kazooie titles, a bunch of old N64 games older than that, a few of their Xbox 360 games like Viva Pinata. It's a very, very good-looking compilation, if I'm honest.
Is this all on I was about to say next gen, but I suppose it's probably just current gen now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's current gen now. It's just an Xbox One release.
Oh.
But either way, that's still a really good...
Oh, yeah.
If you own an Xbox One, then I'd completely recommend getting Rare Replay when it comes out. Their other game is called Sea of Thieves, and it's like a pirate adventure game, which looks pretty cool.
Right.
So they only had one trailer for that and only a few details because it looked pretty early in development. but it's like going to be multiplayer and things like that. So you and some friends could be pirates on the high seas, which,
yay!
I mean, it sounds like a fun concept. I'll put it that. And like, if they're getting back to old rare ways, then could be good.
I wonder whether it'll be easy or hard. I'll get the coat.
First the bloody film and TV news being... and now this.
I do genuinely apologise for that, by the way, viewers, listeners.
Yes, so I think the only other thing to say about the Xbox One is they had a lot of good representation for indie titles. But as I'm looking at the time, I think it's time to move on to EA. Although EA and Ubisoft should go a lot quicker. So, EA. Sports.
Yay! FIFA. Yay!
Where, essentially I had my Twitter feed up on the screen, and as soon as EA went to show off the sports game section of their show, I just saw essentially everyone go, alright, piss break. But yes, they also showed off the first gameplay footage of Star Wars Battlefront.
Oh yeah, I forgot they did that. Okay. Cool.
It looks okay. I'm still not convinced. Star Wars Battlefront was very well received at the show itself. It won Best of Show from quite a few game websites. So
it did look really, really good, like in terms of quality and stuff. But I don't know. I think there's something so cool about the original. I don't
know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if the new Star Wars Battlefront might end up being too modern first-person shooter for me to get behind.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It looked a bit COD, didn't it?
It looked a bit... well, the people behind development, DICE, are the people who originally made Battlefield, which is EA's Call of Duty.
Right, okay.
So if it just ends up being Battlefield with some Star Wars skins and sound effects, then I'm not sure how thrilled I'd be to play it. But I am... No. It has piqued my interest, but not a lot still. No. Like, they did their, like, I think it's the deluxe edition, and it's like, the extra stuff you get is like a victory fist pump to enjoy when you win. It's like, why the fuck? Why would you be like, oh, I'm going to upgrade to the deluxe just for that fist pump? Oh yeah, we win. Fist pump, fist pump. It just seems... it seems like it might be a good game that's stifled by EA just being completely useless.
If anything, it actually encouraged me to go back and play the original. Maybe that's what they're trying to do.
Maybe
just advertise the original, which I think you can get now for something like £4 on Amazon, so I don't see why you wouldn't. So, EA brings you Star Wars Battlefront 2. From 2005 or whenever it was.
Also, as I mentioned earlier, there's an Elder Scrolls strategy card game coming out. But now EA are also eyeing up the amount of popularity that Hearthstone has. And they have announced a Star Wars strategy card game for iOS. So, soon you'll be able to play a Star Wars card game on your smartphone.
Yay!
All I can see it being is just a big cash cow, essentially. Like, I'm being very cynical, not even a little optimistic, which is bad, because that goes against, goes against the mission statement.
We've done mainly cynical, I think, so far. But, yeah, we got a little bit of optimism.
I don't know. I think I was mostly optimistic about the Microsoft stuff, even though they're also proving themselves that they can be quite useless in the past.
I was optimistic about Ewan McGregor. Way back.
But yeah, this is one of those things we're cynical about. Is a iPhone Star Wars card game.
In-app purchases. Ugh.
Probably going to be full of them.
To open this app, it requires you to pay 79p. To close this message for 79p.
Get the parallel rare Han Solo card for only £15. But no, the EA's wasn't terrible. They seem to be seeing that people haven't enjoyed their shows in the past, and God bless them, they're trying to work out what the problem is. But they still dedicate just too much of their show to sports, in my opinion, because, I think I mentioned this last week, no one for a second doubts that there are going to be new EA Sports games. It's not something that really needs an announcement.
No, exactly. We had that discussion about what if they just surprised everyone with FIFA 2028.
Yeah, we've had that discussion before. So, I mean, there's other new things. If you play the massively multiplayer online game Knights of the Old Republic, which is the Star Wars World of Warcraft, as it were, that is getting a completely free expansion.
Ooh.
Which, is good. That sounds good if you play Knights of the Old Republic.
I'm sure
you get some free stuff
if you play that game. Yeah.
Yeah, if you play
everyone else, take it or leave it.
Everyone else is either playing World of Warcraft or outside.
That expansion pack will not work on anything else other than Knights of the Old Republic. You can't use that in a restaurant. Fishing, it's not going to work. Sunbathing, it's not going to do anything. Don't use it as a substitute for other things.
To be honest, most
have you got a Nectar card? No, but I have an expansion pack for Knights of the Old Republic.
Sir, here is the bill. Do you accept Steam codes? I have one here for Star Wars games. No, but apart from that, there's just a new Need for Speed game. Some more stuff on... I think we said about there being Mirror's Edge 2 being shown and Mass Effect 4 being shown. That was all shown. No real comments on that. Good that it's coming out, I guess. But
yay.
Now on to Ubisoft, who, like EA, have realised that it's best to listen to people and try and make your presentations more appealing. It's just unfortunate that nobody seems to know how. But yes, they started off quite strongly by showing off a new South Park game.
Oh, okay.
A sequel to The Stick of Truth, which did quite well when it came out. This one is called The Fractured But Whole.
Right.
So that is
Revelations.
Huh?
Should have called it South Park Revelations.
Yes, maybe that'll be the next one. But for fans of South Park, the old one was based on their kind of Lord of the Rings make-believe that they do on the show, and the new one is going to be based on their kind of superhero make-believe. So it's going to be... I'm actually quite looking forward to it, because it does look like it's going to be fun. I just need to get around to finishing the original. Apart from that, there was a new IP called For Honor, which is kind of like a medieval style fighting game with a third person perspective. Like it kind of
was it called For
Honor?
It's not like the number 4 and then honor.
No, it's FOR Honor.
Okay, good.
And it kind of looked like a medieval version of the old Star Wars Battlefront games. Just I'm still skeptical at the moment because the gameplay they showed for it looked very scripted.
Right. Okay.
But essentially, it's like your two armies of people, guys with swords and shields. So
oh, okay, that's pretty cool. Yeah.
It has the potential to be good, but then this is Ubisoft. So
are they making a pirate game?
A pirate game?
Yeah, because then they can be like, "Arr, Ubisoft" to other manufacturers. Yeah, there you go. You can have that pun.
Oh dear.
Yeah. Again, I apologise.
Apart from that, there was a new expansion for The Crew, which is Ubisoft's Gran Turismo.
The Crew?
And
The Crew?
The Crew. It's a racing game.
Right, you're not just like the mechanics or anything, are you?
No, apparently it's like one where you can race across the whole... Like, it's like if you wanted to take a virtual road trip, you could. But right. I believe they're getting rather mixed reviews, so maybe not.
Who did, what's it called? Test Drive. Who did the Test Drive games?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
it could have been Ubisoft or EA, despite the fact they both already have racing game series.
Yeah.
But yes, there's a new expansion coming for that. There is a new expansion coming for Trials Fusion, which is that game which is essentially just you go along a road in a motorbike.
Okay.
One of my friends has it, but I've never really... I mean, the trailer was cool. It featured...
Is it open world, basically?
No, it's just like it's like a 2D thing. It's like those
Right.
Flash games you used to play, so you didn't have to do work and IT lessons.
Oh, okay. Or like what's it called? Those bloody arcade games with the Ferrari. I can't remember what it's called. Outrun.
I can't remember.
Oh, okay. That was cool.
The trailer for Trials Fusion featured a cat, or a tiger, I couldn't tell which, riding a fire-breathing unicorn.
Nice.
So yeah, I mean that is a way to get your trailer to stick in somebody's mind.
Or a catchy jingle. You're a kid now.
You're a scream now. You're a unicorn.
That's never going to go away, is it?
Apart from that, there was, if you've ever heard of them, there's more information on some new Tom Clancy games coming out, which are essentially just shooter games. But there's 3 of them. Yeah, so if you like Tom Clancy games, there's 3 of them. Anyway, on to the next thing.
You can't use your Star Wars expansion pack on that, though.
No.
No, okay.
Then they had Just Dance 2016 shown off, which is another one of those things that if they didn't show it off, people would still probably know that it was coming out.
It's brave, isn't it, when they name games 2016 like FIFA and Just Dance?
Yeah.
What if we don't make it? What if the world ends before 2016? Risk, you know?
They name it for the next year, so they can be like, guys, the future is now.
No. It's like magazines. You can buy like the August issue in June. It's like, what do you do? You don't know what will happen in August. Fuck you.
Yeah, the thing of note about that is they had Jason Derulo doing a live performance, and it was just crap. It was just awful. It was so bad. He tried to get the host up on stage to dance with him, and she was just like, "Nah, you're right."
that must have been cringe.
And his singing was really, really bad as well. It was quite funny because this was the point when my Twitter feed lit up with, maybe he should have just danced. Which I thought was clever. But yeah, that was just awful. I think the only other thing was at E3 they showed off a trailer for Assassin's Creed Syndicate.
Right.
But supposedly there are actually going to be playable demos of it this year at E3.
Ooh.
Which hopefully should convince a few people that this one's not going to be broken. Although, do not buy it at launch is all I'll say. It's just, no matter how much you want the new Assassin's Creed, just leave it a week and look for the reviews of the version on the platform that you want to buy it on.
The new Assassin's Creed, it's called... Oh, blimey, it's the new Assassin's Creed game.
It's called Assassin's Creed, innit, Governor? Where you...
Just going up the apples and pears.
Press X to pick a pocket or two.
They don't go through the animus, they go through the dog and bone.
I mean...
I'm trying to think of more Cockney slang phrases, but I can't think of any.
Yeah, it looks... If it's good, it looks like it'll be quite good. Yeah. But if it's as broken as the last one, then that might be some serious damage to Assassin's Creed as a franchise. Because people just... If you're just releasing buggy games all the time, then people are going to stop buying them. It's not really rocket science.
Yeah, I know. They've got a great property actually, and they're not really doing as much as they can. Well, actually, they are doing too much, but they're not doing the right thing. Why isn't the film out yet? When everyone loved Assassin's Creed, it was at its peak a couple of years ago.
Yeah, with Assassin's Creed 4, I'd say if they did one around the same time as that came out.
Yeah, or even Revelations and Brotherhood, they were big, really big.
Yeah.
And they've just kept putting off the film.
So yeah, it's kind of Assassin's Creed Syndicate. I mean, it's probably too early to say, but it'll probably make or break Assassin's Creed, essentially, so no pressure. It will either restore everyone's faith or just shatter any remaining faith that fans had. No pressure. We're all waiting to see what you do.
Oh, blimey.
Oh, blimey, Governor. We gone and screwed the pooch on this one.
Wow.
So Sony.
Oh, Sony.
We still have 4 conferences to get through.
Christ, I forgot that existed. We are at 56 minutes, Phil.
Don't worry. It's Sony, then Nintendo. Then I'll just say now, Square Enix was really boring. I'm just going to not mention it at all. Like, they were actually commended on making a game, making Just Cause 3, a game about explosion. Sorry, just have some water. A game about explosions seem boring. It takes some really, really talented, boring people to do that.
That's trying.
That is trying. That is trying at being boring. And, like, apparently they had, like, because the thing is, I watched about 15 minutes and I couldn't even stand it. I had to go and read the recap. And apparently people said they were so boring, they think that Square Enix may have been self-aware at how boring they were being and doing it on purpose. Because they're like, do people want to see the new Kingdom Hearts 3? The crowd was going like, whoa. They're like, but first, we're going to show you this boring game. And it's like, it takes some skill to be that adept at being so boring. No offence to any Square Enix fans out there who enjoyed the show. I'm sure there was stuff that did interest you, but...
If you did enjoy it, please write in.
Please write in telling me to go shove my opinions up my anus. But anyway, so that is Square Enix out of the way. So actually now we only have 3 left. So Sony. Sony managed to get all Sony fans into a state where they would essentially accept anything that Sony said, because they started off first with a game called The Last Guardian, which has been long in development by the people who made Shadow of the Colossus and Ico.
Right.
And they showed off some gameplay of it after it hadn't been heard of for a few years, so that made a lot of fans excited because they'd been asking to hear about it. Then they showed off Shenmue 3, which I announced last week as its Kickstarter.
Right.
Although there's now new... I'll have to talk about the Kickstarter possibly in the news next week once some of the news gets cleared up, because it's... People are kind of unsure as to why Kickstarter is necessary, why Sony just couldn't have paid for it themselves. Like, I don't know. Then they showed off a Final Fantasy VII remake, which apparently was in high demand amongst Final Fantasy fans.
Right.
They only showed off a little of it. What little they showed did look good.
Right.
But essentially, after those 3 announcements, they could have probably told their fans that they were going to just kill them all with the latest software update to PS4, and the fans would have been fucking cheering. I mean, Sony's conference, it wasn't the greatest, but it did show that what happens if you can do fan service right, then you can get lots of people going leaving satisfied from your E3, because that is the big one of the year. They also showed a new game called Horizon Zero Dawn, which had robot animals being hunted by like hunters with bows and arrows, which looked really quite cool.
That sounds cool.
So that's to look forward to if you own a PS4. Nick, you don't.
Do they do an iPhone app?
No, there was no mobile games.
No.
There was a game called Dreams, which looked like a drug trip. Like, go look it up. That's all I'm going to say, because it looked really fucking weird. It was like an art game, but all the art was just like something drawn by MC Escher. Yeah, apart from that, there's just a lot of stuff on things we already knew about, like Uncharted 4. Assassin's Creed was at their show as well. Disney Infinity. Call of Duty Black Ops 3. I hear there's going to be guns. And then, yes, something that might interest you, Nick, is there's going to be a cloud-based television service coming to PlayStation called PS View.
PS View.
The special, the kind of USP of it, supposedly, is going to be the ability to subscribe to individual channels rather than packages.
Right. Okay. Well, that sounds interesting.
So it'll be.
This is just across sort of console, PS3, 4, and stuff, is it?
Yeah. Apparently it's rolling out in like very concentrated areas of America, but once they kind of.
Is this Sony generally? Will it be on like Sony TVs and shit?
I'm not sure. It might if it's popular, they might extend it, but
right.
The whole idea of subscribing to individual channels rather than packages interests me.
Yeah, definitely.
But it really depends on what the price to subscribe to an individual channel is.
I'm already signed up for Now TV, Netflix, and Amazon. So it's going to have to do something pretty bloody good to get me off one of those.
Yeah, so. Well, I thought that'd interest you, just.
Yeah, definitely.
As that was them throwing their hat in the ring. So that'll be interesting to watch as it develops. So. Not to rush past Sony or anything, but we really do need to be getting on. It's past an hour now. Nintendo. Now, Nintendo started off by having puppets of all their higher executives all gathering to do their show. Puppets made by the Jim Henson Company, the same people who do the Muppets.
Wow.
That was kind of fucking weird. But then I was kind of expecting something, because you always, like Nintendo's shows the last few years, they're not live, so they can do those kind of weird things. They then went on to show off stuff about Star Fox, the new Star Fox, which is now named Star Fox Zero. It looks good.
Is it a prequel?
Apparently it's, I don't know, the Star Fox continuity is kind of squirrely in my opinion, but apparently it's kind of a reimagining of the Nintendo 64 game.
Right, okay.
But there's like new vehicles and new, the design looks very good and there's more objectives. It looks like it's...
Star Fox Revelations.
They might actually be able to call it... No, it'd be Star Fox Reimagined. To keep in time with the RE at the beginning. And that was all very well announced. They had a nice trailer for it, but the only problem with Nintendo's show was, apart from Super Mario Maker, which a lot was known about already, there was nothing really else in terms of big hitters.
Right.
Like, there's a Mario RPG coming out, but that's kind of like just a 3DS title. Those come out quite frequently.
You mean a role-playing game, not a rocket-propelled grenade?
Yeah, role-playing game.
Okay, right. I was going to say, cool.
There is
firing mushrooms out of a grenade
Mario
launcher.
Tennis coming to Wii U, which
Yay.
I will say that was... I did predict that Nintendo were going to announce a sports game. I was just hoping it would be one that's less generic. Did you hear about which game caused a lot of negative feedback for Nintendo? Which game they announced?
Splatoon 2?
Well, when they announce it, I'm sure it will be called Splatoon.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Or Splatoon. But no, it was a game called Metroid Prime Federation Force.
Oh, a new Metroid game?
Yeah, but it wasn't the Metroid game that people wanted, so...
Oh.
Because it takes place in the Metroid universe. Wow, I'm getting quite dry-throated. But it's based around the Federation of like bounty hunters, for which is like kind of central. So you don't play as Samus, but it is a 4-player first-person shooter on 3DS.
Well, it might still be quite cool.
That's what I thought, but
Can you still roll up into a little ball?
No, because you're in
No, I'm not sure.
Max.
No, I want to roll into a ball.
You're in mechs, like hunting animals and shit like that.
Okay.
I mean, I think it looks quite fun, and a 4-player first-person shooter on 3DS is nothing to stick your nose up about.
No.
However, the very next day, it had a petition on change.org to cancel it.
To be fair, I don't think Nintendo have got some of the best properties in the world, and they just don't really use them, do they?
No, I will agree that it's not the Metroid Prime game that they should have announced.
No, it's not.
I think it will do a great deal of world building for the Metroid Prime universe, so that maybe
that should be like a spin-off game to the main Metroid game, so shouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was just as a spin-off game. It's just because there hadn't been a proper Metroid game in 5 years, and the one that was released then was highly seen as being not very good.
Was highly seen as not being very good.
Well, I haven't played it myself, so I don't want to outright say.
You don't want to throw an S word in just before you played it.
Well, if I haven't played it myself, I won't.
Okay.
I mean,
apart from that, it might be shit. It might not be shit.
I mean, I'm still gonna follow it quite closely because I think it looks all right. I think it could be good.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, a lot of people have just. There's been a lot of the word Untitled has been thrown around the internet a lot. Because on one hand, Nintendo should be able to make the game that they want to make. It's their fucking property. On the other hand, if you're a business that just goes around making the games that you want to make, you really don't have this whole business thing down.
So you can say that some people are cynical. And some people
are optimists. Apart from that, there's just a lot of amiibo there as well, but I think they had the wrong audience because E3 is quite a very hardcore gamer-oriented show.
Yeah.
I think Nintendo were just bringing the wrong things. Like, they should have saved more. If they didn't have anything strong in their main presentation, they should have put all the Smash stuff in it.
Right.
Because Ryu and Smash getting announced as part of that presentation would have probably made everyone forget about everything else. But they'd already done all their good announcements, like, over the weekend. So I thought it's because they were saving something huge, but they weren't. So, yeah, Nintendo this year could try harder next year. I mean, I appreciate that they do their Nintendo Directs pretty frequently, so it means that there's constant news about Nintendo games, whereas the others, this is their one time a year to show stuff off. But still, E3 is like... It's like bringing your B team to the World Cup final. Like, you just wouldn't do it because you're likely going to lose. You wouldn't use your A team in, like, a friendly against Japan, funnily enough. And then be like, oh no, the A team deserved today off, but sir, today is the World Cup final. Nah, they've deserved it. And then wonder why you lose 10-0 or whatever. But no.
Nice football analogies brought back in again. We're actually quite good at those.
I understand the idea of football. I just don't understand any. I just don't care. I think it's the apt description. But yes, finally brings us to our last thing, which is good because we are going on quite long now, talking about E3. But the last one is the PC gaming show. This is a first, like Bethesda's show, and I like the format. That's one thing I'll say for it, is it was like a late night chat show. There was a host sat behind a desk, and he brought on his guests onto a sofa, and they chatted about their game.
Yeah, okay.
That was good. What also was good is that there's some Xbox games being ported over to PC, so Microsoft have finally ended their ignoring. They used to just ignore PC quite a lot because they were pushing the Xbox brand. But now they've realised that the money comes to them anyway. It doesn't matter whether they're playing on a Microsoft PC or an Xbox.
So, did you know that we actually own a vast network of PCs as well? Do we?
So there's quite a few Xbox One games getting ported over, which was good. There is a new the Roller Coaster Tycoon games, if you ever played them.
Yeah, back in the day.
They are releasing a new game called Planet Coaster, which was had a trailer shown there, which is good.
Coaster World. Jurassic World Coaster Tycoon. Revelations. What
was bad is that the show went on. I fell asleep during the show because it started at 2 a.m. British time, and I was like, "Fuck that, I'm falling asleep." But it's a good thing I did fall asleep because the show went on for almost 3 hours. That is too much. All the other shows that I talked about were between an hour and an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Which is a good length. But yeah, there's apparently a lot of people just there was no real big announcements. It was a good platform for PC exclusive indie devs to get their game seen. And it was a nice format. I really enjoyed the chat show format. The host was good.
Yeah.
But 3 hours is just too long. And talking about too long, this brings us to the end of our discussion on the E3 this year.
You said a good show is between an hour and a half, and we're near enough in that smack bang in the middle of that region.
So, what was your favourite game from E3 this year, Nick?
The Fallout game that you can get on iPhone, I imagine.
It's out right now, so you can play it.
Fantastic! I'll be playing that today.
Yeah, so all in all, as just a final round off, E3 this year was good. Like, no one had any real major fuck-ups. Like, Nintendo's was just a bit disappointing, and Square Enix sounded like they were talking to their investors. But apart from that, everyone seems to be getting into the spirit of E3 being a celebration of gaming, and it being all about it being an exciting show, because it's all about, at the end of the day, getting people hyped and showing off stuff to fans. It's become very much that kind of oriented over the last few years. So I think this was a very strong showing by everyone. Yeah, I don't think there's much more to say. If you are watching this and you follow the coverage of E3...
If you're watching this, then I'm very impressed.
What was your favourite game announced? What was your least favourite game announced? What did you think of the conferences? Which ones did you watch? Blah, blah, blah. Give us your E3 analysis in the comments. I hope I've given some insight as to what happened over the last, essentially, 40-50 minutes of talking. Because I think we finished the news at about 20 minutes.
It was dumbed down enough for me as well. Thank you, Phil. I actually managed to get all of it.
Are you going to buy a Elite controller for 130 quid?
No, maybe not, but...
So, yes. Next...
Near enough there.
Yes, I think that is us done for today.
Although we do need a theme song.
Which, I don't know.
Right, what have we got? We could have Peter Capaldi playing the guitar. We could have Splatoon again. What have we talked about?
We've talked about a lot of video games, so there is a lot of video game themes that could be used.
What have we talked about extensively?
What did we talk about extensively? This must have gone on for a while because of stuff then we did. Fallout?
Yeah, we talked about
We could use like the one of the Fallout songs from their Fallout 4 trailer.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. Peter Capaldi guitar though.
If you find me the audio for it, I will make it the intro. And I think that settles that business. Next week is a film and TV topic.
Not yet decided.
Not yet decided, but it really depends on if there's anything that comes up in the news, then that will be prioritised. So we don't want to say, we'll do this, and then this huge piece of news drops as soon as we stop recording. We think, damn, well, we can't have a good discussion on that.
Alternatively, if you have any ideas, post them in the comments. Or if a Doctor Who trailer comes on, right?
You might hear us talk about Stephen Moffat for a little while. Most of it words. I was going to say most of it positive, but that's not true.
It'll be mainly a cynical program that week.
Probably, yeah. Well, unless we're talking about the old series, the pre-Moffat.
Back in the day.
Back in my day, the Doctor didn't take children in his TARDIS. And
back when we had Daleks fighting
Cybermen.
And Clara wasn't the centre of focus and blah, blah, blah. That will literally be the entire podcast, so we look forward to that day. Well,
we can do the entire thing in our old man voices.
So if that's something you want to hear, let us know. Let us know if you have any other suggestions. If you don't know how you got here, if you're trapped on this YouTube page, if you're scared and worried, give us a shout on the comments. If you want to know where we live, put it in the comments. If you want to know how many acres of land are on the moon, don't give us a shout in the comments.
Wikipedia it.
Other than that, I've been NGM.
I've been haddowinc.
Thank you very much for listening.
We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye-bye.